What is the deal, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I told you guys that we're going to come back and we're going to talk over the full event for tonight. But I first want to talk about the Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor fight. And I feel that fight was rigged. I feel it was rigged to get a third fight for Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz. And there's a couple things I knew for a fact. If you go back and watch my prediction video, watch my final fight prediction video, and I said that I thought Conor McGregor would win in a decision, I was spot on. I thought he came out fighting a fairly smart fight. I thought the fight, the way that he fought in that fight was incredibly smart. Came out working his leg kicks, keeping some distance, staying away from his weakness, which his weakness is obviously, the weakness is obviously on the ground, right? Now, there is a moment in the fight where in the fifth and final round, Conor McGregor ends up on top of Nate Diaz. He ends up on top of Nate Diaz in this round. Nate Diaz, who has been fighting to get the fight on the ground the entire time, gets back on his feet. Made no sense. That made little to no sense at all. None. Now, of course, after the fight, with all of this bad blood and these guys throwing shit at each other, throwing water bottles at each other, acting like they want to fight in front of each other, these guys go and hug, which is okay with me because I really like when martial artists show respect to each other. I don't have a problem with that shit. But if you're telling me that Nick Diaz knocked out one of Conor McGregor's men, if you're telling me that all of this bad blood and these guys throwing shit at each other, if you're telling me all of these things happen, I don't understand how these guys end up hugging at the end of the fight. Was it just a show of respect? Okay. I guess I could take that. But this shit looks fixed to me. It looked fixed. Me and my brother was sitting here saying, you know what? If this fight goes to the cards, it's Conor McGregor's fight. There's no way in hell the UFC wanted Conor McGregor to lose. Conor McGregor is, without a doubt, the only cash cow that the UFC has right now. They had three cash cows. You had Ronda Rousey, who was a huge event seller. You had John Jones, and you had Conor McGregor. Those are the three cash cows for the UFC. Other fighters are better. There are other fighters that are better in the UFC, right? A lot of fighters are better. Mighty Mouse, better fighter. But he doesn't sell cards like Conor McGregor, like Ronda Rousey, like John Jones, which is the reason why the UFC, what was that, 200, just felt so dry to me. When that fight ended up getting called off, I lost all of my interest, exhilaration, every positive word that you can use. I lost it because I wanted to see John Jones face Daniel Cormier, the improved Daniel Cormier, who beat a guy that John Jones himself couldn't even beat. And I'm talking about Gustafsson. All right, so what we're going to do right now, as we normally do, shout out to how many people are watching me right now? Shout out to the 173 people that are tuned in to me right now all across the globe that saw Nate Diaz and Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor rob us. It was fixed. Shit was fixed. So I want to go over the fight card. There's a lot of stuff. If you watched my if you got to watch my prediction video, there's a couple guys that I talked about in a prediction video, especially Cody Garbrandt. That guy is a rock star in the making. He is a rock star in the making, and he's probably going to get the champion next. He probably will get the champion next. But he's a rock star in the making. All right, so let's start off from the top. Marvin Vettori versus Alberta Yuda. Hope I'm saying the name right. Marvin Vettori gets the submission win in the first round. All right. Colby Covington versus Max Griffin. Colby Covington gets the win by TKO in the third round. A shocker for me. Neil Magny versus Lorenz Larkin. Lorenz Larkin knocks out Neil Magny in the first round. Shocker. That was the biggest shocker on this card for me. Rhonda Marcos versus Courtney Casey. And let me go back a little bit. The only time I've seen Neil Magny beaten was versus Demian Maia, and he tapped him out. But Neil Magny is a very well-rounded guy, and I've seen him take some very hard shots. But so to lose to Larkin and for Larkin to beat him is a shock. Anyway, we continue. Rhonda Marcos versus Courtney Casey. Courtney Casey wins by submission in the first round. Artem Lobov versus Chris Avila. Artem Lobos wins by unanimous decision. After I finish with this shit, after I finish going through the fight card, I will go to the comment section for a minute, answer some questions. I'm not looking at my comment section at all right now. So if you have questions, let's save those for after we finish going through the fight card. Right now, I'm not going to see anything you type, especially if the comment section is going crazy, which I don't know. Raquel Pennington versus Elizabeth Phillips. Raquel Pennington wins by unanimous decision. Cody Garbrandt, a kid who I think is an absolute rock star, versus Takeya Misagai. Cody Garbrandt gets the TKO victory in the first round. Tim Dirty Means versus Sa Hamasi. Hope I'm saying that guy's name right. I am horrible with names. Tim Means gets the TKO in the second round. Mike Perry versus Lim. Mike Perry gets the TKO in the first round. Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Rick Story. Donald Cerrone gets the TKO victory in the second round over Rick Story. That's a slight surprise as well. And no surprise, first round of the fight, Anthony Rumble Johnson able to knock out Glover Teixeira, pretty much hit him with one right up under the chin, knocks him out. And the last and final fight of the night, Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor, in what to me looked like an absolute fixed fight. Conor McGregor wins by split decision. So yeah.
The second judge said it was 48-48. The first judge said it was 48-45. The third judge said it was 48-47.
All right, so what I'm doing right now is I am looking at the comment section. if you have any comments, if I can, it's easier to send me a question through my Twitter, at casual, at KASUWELL. Let's see, how was it fixed? Let's see how it was fixed. Nate Diaz won the punch count. He definitely landed more strikes than Conor McGregor. What?
Conor McGregor got a takedown in the last, but Nick took him down in the last, but Nick actually landed elbow.
Exactly.
So they kind of tied.
Nate, both guys got takedowns. Nate was able to immediately get up, where Conor McGregor was on his back getting hit in the face. Of course, and of course, all of the control that Nate had in this fight up against the cage with numerous punches. Conor. So you think that Conor McGregor could have kept Nate Diaz on the ground? Like what fight have you been watching? And then when Nate Diaz was pressing the fight, Conor McGregor was turning and running like it was track. He was taunting him, flipping the bird at him. He needs to change the title of this video. Nate Diaz robbed. Okay. Whatever you say. There's one period. Nate is a sore loser. Yep. It was only one round. Reading this thread, see nothing but haters. Fans also voted 65 victory to McGregor. Nate won. Okay. Nate is still gonna. This is the reason why I think it was the main reason why I think it was rigged, though, and the thing that really jumped off the page to me, man, is for a fighter like Nate Diaz, who knows that he has a significant advantage. He knows that he has a significant advantage on the ground. Conor McGregor, every single loss that he had, every single loss that Conor McGregor had has come by submission. For Nate Diaz to be on the ground in an open guard and get up is ridiculous. Yes, I agree. His takedown defense was amazing. But we know where he's weak at. We seen it in the Mendez fight. We seen it. We see it on his record. And we seen the last time these two guys fought. And there's 315 people watching me right now. Shout out to everybody who's watching me, tuned in. Thank you, thank you. You're far too kind. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. God. Yes, McGregor lost. We won. You was in the ring? In the octagon? I didn't know either. I thought Conor McGregor was in there. He said we. Don't watch third if you have any integrity. You're right, though. Nate's too real for the sport. Yeah. But see, this is the thing. This is the thing. The UFC understands. The UFC understands that another fight is going to do big ratings, right? You got big numbers for the first fight. You got big numbers for the second fight. You know you're going to do big numbers for the third fight, right? The UFC also understands. They also understand the fact that they have one big draw. You have a fighter like Mighty Mouse, right? You have a fighter like Mighty Mouse that couldn't sell out a high school arena in his hometown. Nobody, like, he's such a great fighter. He's a great fighter, but nobody wants to watch him. And that goes for a lot of fighters in the UFC. So I don't doubt for a second that they did not want Conor McGregor to lose this fight. And another telltale sign. Another telltale sign. All right, I got people tweeting at me. If you're not tweeting at me, at Casual, at KSUWELL, we're going to stay on here a little bit longer. I'm just answering some tweets here. Once again, you can tweet to me as well at Casual, at KSUWELL. Let me go back to my comment section here for a moment. McGregor knows he lost. He ran like a little bitch. Yeah. Nate Diaz knocked down 3 times. Diaz's face looks smashed. Nate Diaz looked like shit in the first round. Oh, yeah. Conor McGregor came out beautifully. He came out fighting the fight that I thought he was going to fight. Now, as far as Nate Diaz face being smashed, there are fighters that have more scar tissue and just get cut easier than other fighters. Nate Diaz is one of them. Forrest Griffin is another one. He's terrible with scar tissue. There's just some fighters that you know, like that. McGregor was running and Nate was laughing. Shout out to Historic Ed. The rounds Nate lost were by a huge margin, but the ones Conor lost were pretty close. That's why he won. I don't know. You see Conor Mayweather, enough said. Oh, man, 90-20 strikes was a huge margin in round 3. Yeah. Nate won round 3 by a landslide. It was done right. McGregor won 3 rounds. People even think that, and some don't even like him. Yeah. I absolutely feel like this fight was fixed. I feel like it was fixed. And the reason why the fight was fixed to get a third fight. Yeah. Anyway, folks, it is almost 1 a.m. I still have 353 people watching me right now. It's going to be very difficult for me to walk away from 353 people tuning in. You better run your Oh, man. So, yeah, man. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, folks, Nate Diaz to me got robbed. And the reason why he was robbed was to set up a third fight. That's just how I look at it. Tomorrow we have Errol Spence, and I will be back, and we'll be talking the young Errol Spence tomorrow. My wife is talking shit to me in the background.
Read it, baby, read.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, I just seen this. Wait a minute. I'm gonna shoot to this real quick before I head off. Hold on. All right. So, what did you do?
What's on?
All right. So, August 20th, we have Demian Maia. No, that is it. That is the next one. But they got it. They talking about August 20th. Yeah, go ahead, Kim. All right, so the next fight is going to be Demian Maia versus Carlos Condit. I don't know why the UFC website is showing something like weird. Like they have Maia versus Condit, but they're saying it's August the 20th. You see it? It says August 20th. Must be some type of glitch. And then after that, we have Arlovsky versus Barnett. All right, but I want to go back real quick before I jump off here. Let's look at these final scorecards. These are the final scorecards for the fight. Let's take a look at them real quick. Diaz cut eye and mood from stand. Won by majority decision. Judges scored. This is how the judges scored the fight. All right, so round one, they gave it a 10-9. Most people gave it a 10-9 for Conor McGregor in the first round. Round two, they gave him a 10. This guy gave him a 10 round in round two. 10-9 in round. It wasn't no damn 10-9 in round two. And these judges scored that across the board.
And then he got killed in round 3, and they gave him a 9.
He got killed.
And then, well, this is the judge that had it scored as a draw. He gave it in the third round. He gave it an 8-10 to Nate Diaz. But this person gave it a 10-9. That person gave it a 10-9.
What fight was they watching?
And then in the fourth round, this person gave a 10-9, 10-9, 10-9. And then in the fifth round, these scorecards don't make no sense.
They gave him a 9 in 3 and 4, even though he got his behind whooped in both of them.
Wow.
So I guess running doesn't give you no negative points.
Wow, that's ridiculous. This don't make no sense. Wow. Anyway, folks, that is the scorecards. Wow, see? I thought you...
Bosh think that bullshit. Look at his face.
Well, I thought we were losing people. Now we're back up to almost 400 people watching again. Anyway, folks, my night is over. I have an early morning tomorrow, and we'll be talking Errol Spence versus Bundu tomorrow. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We shot past 10,000. Shout out to everybody that has been subscribing. Shot past 10,000, and now we're on our way. The next goal that we're definitely trying to reach is 15,000. So if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe so we can hit that 15,000. Sports Talk with Casual. Good night, people. If you're not following me on Twitter, make sure that you follow me at Casual, at KASUWELL. I'm out of here. Peace.